May I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
The time is now. The time is now. The time is now. I'm Trent, and this is Vision Preparedness. The time is now. The time is now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to May Hammock Thursday, where the world goes crazy, but we are sane. Good to see everybody in here tonight. Hope everybody is having an amazing Thursday. Let's see who we got coming through the door. Loretta, good to see you, sis. Hope you are doing well. There she is, one of my amazing moderators and one of the most famous names on YouTube. Coffee first. Then speak. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Kevin Ramsey is in the building. Good to see you, bruh. Hope you're doing well. Prepper Book Club. How are you? Hope you had a great day. I hope the family is doing well. Hope everything is going well in your part of these great United States. KP, good to see you, my man. The best concrete man in the business, folks. Plain and simple. Take my word for it. Good to see you. Hope you had a great day today as well. Then we have Bama Jen. Good to see you. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in, Little Lone Prepper. Good evening. She's cold. She says, "Burr." Well, I have a resident fire log thrower. If Teresa's in the building, Teresa, please throw another log in the wood burning stove. Warm these folks up. Welcome in. Welcome in. Mama Bear, Jay, 15, good to see you. Hope you're having a great day in Illinois. I know it's cold over there. Just saying that state's name makes me cold. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Robert Bates, good to see you, my brother. Robert Bates says, kicking butt and taking names today. There you go, Robert. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family's well. Hope everything is going well in your neck of the woods. My man, Dan H, 5x5. Thank you for that, brother. I appreciate you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Get your favorite beverage, as you see, because Tuesday, a couple of my guys said it looks like I had a pint. This is a regular coffee mug, and I just threw a Vision Preparedness May Hammock sticker on it. You can get them at the swag shop, visionpreparedness.org. Thank you for the shameless plug. Loretta, I hope you're doing well, sis. Good to see you, family. I hope everything is going well with you and in your part of the world. Then we got the Virginia Bushcrafter, my man, my brother, my friend. Good to see you. I hope you are doing well. That's right, Prepper Book Club. The time is now. Yes, 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 yes. Andrea, good to see you. Hope you had a great day. Hope the family's doing well. Thank you for stopping in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Paradise Acres. Hey there, fam. At Loretta, been missing you. I've been missing her too, Paradise Acres, for sure. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. F. Pier. Shh. I don't know how that happened, but it just happened. But thank you and thank everybody for the 2K congratulations. I don't look at numbers. I just keep doing the things, hopefully that brings you guys back. And we got a special guest for you all tonight as we talk about part 3 of preparing your family and home for a power outage. We'll get to our guest very shortly after I say a couple more hellos. Frank Short is in the building. Good to see you, Frank. JRC Homestead, welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Warlord TV, thank you very much. I can't take all the credit. The intro, my guy Steve Sessions over at Steve's Creative Sessions, one of my guys here in the great state of Ohio and good friend and church member, created my intro for me, and we did a nice collaboration. GMA Nana is in the house. Good to see you and thank you for coming by tonight. Appreciate you. Welcome in. My man, Stewart's Prepping. Good to see you. Yardbirds, where you been? Haven't seen you around. Been missing you, bro. Hope you're doing well. Then there's my other amazing moderator and friend, Mr. Ghost Lincoln, who's looking for chickens. I don't know why, but I'm sure he'll tell me later about chickens. Everybody that's come in, for those of you that I have not personally, Paper Buttons 19 spoken to, oops, good to see you, good to see you, my man Canna John. Welcome in. You know, I try to speak to everybody because my parents raised me that way. You speak to people when you see them. Say hi. Annette, welcome in. Annette Gerganis. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you for joining us tonight. That's right. Tell them, Ghost. It's Mayhemic Thursday evening, folks. For sure. All the mayhem in the world, all the insanity, all the mayhemicness. But here we are prepared and we are ready for anything that they may throw at us. My Renaissance grandma, good to see you. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great day. Thank you for stopping by. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, indeed. Who else we got in here? We have Thistle Moon Farms. Welcome in. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate you. By the way, folks, if y'all have not, just do me a favor, please. Hit the like button. If you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, click the bell, and click all. That way, you won't miss any of the mayhemicness that comes from us here at Vision Preparedness. Little lone prepper, if I did not speak to you, hello and good evening. Okay, and Jules, welcome in, and a whole bunch of folks and everybody else. Sherry, good evening, good to see you. Storm Weather, good to see you, and everybody else and anybody that I may have missed. Oh, y'all may know her, huh? Good evening, chat. Hope all is well with everyone. VP's Chica, huh? She may be the reason why I smell amazing food cooking upstairs. Moonsprout, welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Did Storm Weather, how are you? Did I see Teresa come in the building? Teresa, please throw another log on the fire. It's a little breezy, but the weather is nice today. It is exactly 51 degrees here in the great state of Ohio, and it's going to rain all day tomorrow. So, you know, that's how it goes. Sweet Thumb, welcome in. Okay, now, for all of those that I may have not personally spoken to, don't blame me, please, but this goes out to you. I appreciate each and every one of you here tonight. Now, I want to let you folks know, before we get into our series of preparing your family and home for a power outage, part 3, before we hit the slide deck, I want to let y'all know we have a special guest with us in the building, an amazing guy, a good friend of mine, happens to be from the great state of Ohio. And I'm going to bring him up because without further ado, y'all, I would love to introduce you to my friend, my guy, if I can unmute him. Uh-oh. There we go. My man, Devil Dog Pepper. What's going on, bro? How you doing tonight?
How you doing today, Vision?
Good. Doing well. Good to see you. And we're getting a little bit of feedback. Not sure where it's coming from. If you have YouTube open, close YouTube. But yes, folks, welcome, Devil Dog Prepper, to the building. And if, as we work on this Widow's Diary and good to see you. Let me see. How's that? That killed it. So it's definitely coming from your side. So let me see if I can myself. I still hear me on your side. All right. We'll work through this. Yep, we're working through it. Mute your, I'm gonna say mute your sound and see if you can still hear me. Can you still hear me? Okay, but I can't hear you now. Let's see here. Unmute your sound. She is Sunshine. Welcome in, J3GS. Yeah, I'm still hearing. Okay. Anyway, tell us a little bit about yourself, Devil Dog.
Yeah, I like you said, I'm Devil Dog Prepper. Are you hearing me all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've been on YouTube for quite a while. I started my YouTube channel a few months ago. Just wanted to get out some videos on how I do my things for preparedness. Do a lot of canning and dry good preparation. Now I did I built a shed and did a video on it, and I went to upload it, and it all deleted. So I'm still trying to figure out how to do all this stuff. So, but I appreciate your help and some of the other content creators that have been helping me out. And I appreciate it. So
Awesome. And with that, what I'll do is when I'm talking, I'll mute you, then unmute you. We'll do it that way. Folks, can one of my moderators go grab the link to Devil Dog Prepper's YouTube channel? Folks, let's help this brother out. Let's see if we can get to, I'm not sure what his current count is, but let's see if we can get him to 200 tonight. I would truly appreciate that from y'all before we get into our presentation for this evening. And we're going to switch that. We're going to drop us down here. Now, let me see if I can unmute him. There we go. Now, just to let you folks know, Devil Dog Prepper works in the energy sector, okay? I also worked in the energy sector in IT briefly. So after this amazing presentation, we're going to have a Q&A where you guys can ask a question and what the heck happened here? There we go. Then we'll talk more about the grid itself, the energy sector as a whole. So let me go ahead and dive into this. And if you do have questions, folks, what I really would like, and my moderators, you're gonna have to keep me on my toes, is put QQQ in all caps and put your question in caps. African Dreaming, welcome in, my brother. Good to see you. And by the way, all of the content creators, because there's amazing content creators in the chat, do me a favor. If you type the word vision, it will drop a link to your channel. Folks, go check out some of these amazing content creators that you may not have seen. Go watch a video, leave a like, leave a comment. Comments are great. I answer all my comments. And if you like what they're doing, folks, subscribe to their channel because that's how we do it around here. Nobody grows alone. We all grow together. So let's dive into this. Prepping your family and house for a power outage. Now, we talked about everything we prepare for is based on the PACE methodology, meaning we always have backups to the backups: primary, alternative, contingency, and emergency. And if you're not sure, I've created a series. There's a playlist on my channel with this exact series in it. I will add this to it, and you can go back and get more detail about the PACE methodology. This is actually a term that came from the military. And that's what they do. Everything there is a primary, alternative, contingency, and emergency backup to solve whatever the issue is at hand. Teresa, I see you. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in this evening. Regional Sky Girl, welcome, welcome, welcome. JRC Homestead, how are you this evening? My favorite flight attendant, Regional Sky Girl, I hope you're still on vacation. Okay, so let's get into this. Preparedness, the priorities we've been talking about in the series is food, water, medicine, first aid, energy, hygiene, and security. Those are the topics that we prep the most. Those are what is most important. Okay, now, tonight, part 3, we're going to talk about staying warm when the power is out. Okay. Keep in mind, folks, even in your house, if you have no way to heat your house, hypothermia is still real, even indoors, if the temperature drops to below freezing and things go on like that. Okay. We want to try to create a mini climate, meaning many small climate rooms in your house or apartment. You don't have to use every single room in the house when the power's out and you're trying to, heat one room or two rooms. Okay. You want to have one room for sleeping. In that room, to create that mini climate to keep that room warm, you can put up a tent in that room if you have it. Use that room for sleeping. An indoor tent makes a great mini climate room. If you have kids, making a camping adventure, make it fun. Make it fun. Thank you, Teresa, for throwing the wood for the stove. Make it fun for them. Sleeping bags, blankets, wool blankets. We've got tons of wool blankets, comforters, all that stuff. In the one room where you're going to be sleeping, you want to be able to keep that particular room warmer than any other rooms in the house, okay? Also, try to keep your activities, to 1 to 2 rooms if possible. The kitchen is, we're going to be in the kitchen, possibly. When a power outage, the least you go in and out of the refrigerator, the longer that those things are going to stay cold, for sure. Now, let me see here. I just did that. What happened here? I'm trying to unmute Devil Dog. There we go. Anytime you want to chime in, bro, go right ahead. So you want
Sounds
to
good.
try to
Thanks.
keep activities to 1 to 2 rooms. Exactly, JRC Homestead's right. Let your fur babies sleep with you too. You got to take care of the pets, without a doubt. Jones Truth, good to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. So, for those of us who know we may have drafts, windows that may be slightly drafty, you can use towels to block off a room and put a towel at the bottom of the door. That'll help hold in the heat. You can use heavy milled trash bags and things like that in the room that you're going to be using for primary heat. And there's tons of different ways, and everybody in the chat is giving their things they do too, and that's a wonderful thing. So heat the room with your alternative source. We know plenty things about alternative sources. You've got Mr. Buddy heaters, all those types of things. You can use electric blankets. If you have a small generator, you can plug those into, and we'll talk more about that. If you have fireplace, wood burning stoves, make sure you can use those. Right, Mama Bear, right. I use my Big Buddy. Right, absolutely. Those are the things we want to do and use. Make sure you have the plenty of the fuels to run them, meaning either a gas generator outside with extension cords, or other sources of way to fuel and use the Mr. Buddies, the Big Buddies, all of those good things. Okay, make sure of that, but also be concerned and careful about creating carbon monoxide. I definitely would take a carbon monoxide sensor and put it in that room also, just to make sure, because carbon monoxide is the silent killer. Now, as soon as you wake up in the morning, you want to dress warm and cover your head, especially if you're like me and got not too much up there. Cover the head, put on warm socks and gloves if need be. Okay? Clothing. We all know layers, layers, and layers. Layer yourself with clothes. Base layer, something that will, a wick layer that'll keep moisture off of the skin. That's the first thing we want to do. Middle layer, body. Something that's going to keep the body warm. You can put on a wool sweater, flannel sweater, whatever, the outer layer, a hoodie or a jacket. And remember, folks, if you go outside, you want to put on an additional layer to what you already have on. And Devil Dog, you're ex-military, so and I know you have some amazing ideas about as far as layering goes. So what would you also suggest?
So I know that when we did our cold weather training, we were taught that throughout the day you're going to want to take layers off. If you keep all your layers on at the warmest part of the day, and it starts to get cold at night, you're not going to be able to stay warm. So you're going to have the most clothing on when it's the coldest at night, and then throughout the day you'll take your layers off. Obviously, wanting to stay, if you're starting to sweat, obviously you're going to be doing work like chopping wood or whatever. Um, if you start to sweat, you want to take some layers off. That way you cool down a little bit. That way you're not sweating, because then that's when you're gonna, have that frostbite and get sick and all that kind of stuff. So
Exactly. So, folks, that's very important to make sure that you're not sweating, and when you are sweating, that you can cool down to where you get dry, and then layer again as it gets colder in the evening. And Dan H, I saw your comment, and I'm gonna say this to my evil twin: stay out of my head, because we're going to talk about that. And there you go. Also, folks, drink warm fluids and eat warm foods if you can cook indoors. We all know that, Coleman stoves and other ways that you may have alternative cooking sources indoors. You want to drink warm fluids to warm the body, like Dan said, from the inside out. So you also want to be as normal as possible in these types of stressful situations, because we all know in stressful situations our emotions are high, our sensitivity is high, we're on alert. We don't need to be screaming and hollering. We need to stay calm. And plus, if you have kids around, you want to make things as normal as possible for them. Make it fun. Have board games and things like that for the kiddos. Now, to heat your mini climate, we talked about space heaters, Mr. Buddy heaters, Mr. Heater, little, big, fireplaces, wood burning stove, all of that. Now, alternative power. And everybody should have a generator. I don't care what kind it is. I don't care if it's gas. I don't care if it's diesel. I don't care if it's a dual fuel. Everybody should have at least one generator. And then you can start going into the solar power stations and solar generators for alternative electricity. Um, Once you have that, and I'm actually working on a couple of things. I'll say more later towards the end of the live. But once you have your alternative electric and that everything is working, you can use electric blankets if necessary. If your generators can handle the wattage of an electric blanket, use it. You don't have to keep it on all the time, but turn it on, heat up that space in your tent, your mini climate. That will help heat it up, keep the kids warm, keep the fur babies warm, keep mama warm, and keep daddy happy. Those are the things. So make sure you have a way to have an alternative electrical source. You don't have to run it all day. Whether you have solar lights, flashlights, everybody should be stocking some type of flashlights and batteries and all of that stuff. Carlos H, welcome in, my brother. Hope you're doing well. He said Vista heaters are nice. There you go. Exactly. And all of that. Those are the things that we need to do as well. And by the way, welcome in everybody that I personally did not get to speak to. Prepared Irishman, welcome to the Mayhamic Pint, as you and Mad Shad said this was. Welcome in. Have a sit down and let's talk. So, alternative power, everybody talks about solar generators, and gas generators. Make sure, first of all, you have enough fuel to run your generators, whether it's gas, diesel, or propane. You got to store that too and take that into mind. And if you store gas, you got to go down that whole situation of, making sure it's stable, rotating your gas. I'm not sure, Devil Dog, do you diesel fuel? How do we store diesel fuel? Do you know by any chance?
I'm not for sure with diesel fuel. I have nothing that runs on diesel, so
That makes two of us. And maybe somebody in the chat can talk about it. The prepping
oh,
artist.
they do make a diesel fuel heater.
Mm-hmm.
You have a
Mm-hmm.
gas heater, but they also make a diesel fuel heater. I've been wanting to look into that. You can
Yeah.
mount it on in a window or whatever, and all the exhaust is outside, but it's supposed to run a little bit more efficient than the gasoline.
Right. And that's what I heard too, that a diesel generator will run more efficient than a gasoline uh, generator. You're absolutely right. But yeah, folks. So, and if you have, solar stations, solar generators, you got to have the solar panels, and we're gonna need the sun. So, Keep that in mind, and keep in mind how long it will charge, how long it'll take to recharge your solar generator back to 100%. Personally, if I have to pull out my solar generators, like my Blue Eddy, my EcoFlow, and I got something else over there sitting on the floor that I can't talk about yet, but I'm not going to let them get down past 60% before I start recharging them. And F. Peer just said, I'll let you know, I just bought one. So there you go. Dan H says, treat diesel fuel just like gas, plus add an antimicrobial to it. There you go. Thank you for that, Dan H. Appreciate it. Those are the things that you have to keep in mind if you're going to be using a gas generator or diesel generator. You got to prep the fuel as well. And with solar power stations and solar generators, you got to have the solar panels and know how much input the solar panels are going to give you into your generator on a sunny day or a cloudy day, overcast. There you go. Right. Adriana, right. She said, I just bought an EcoFlow generator. Yes, absolutely. I'm dropping a video hopefully tomorrow or Saturday on a new generator, a new power station that I got, and that's what we want to do. Kevin Ramsey said, also chain your generator so it doesn't walk away. That's right. That's part of the security, folks, especially in a grid down. We got you're going to have to police not only your property, but everything that's on it. Because if somebody notice or hears your generator running, guess what? They may want to come take it. So chain them down and do the necessary things. But also keep in mind that staying warm is critical, especially for your family, because hypothermia is real, even indoors. And just to give a short story, then we're going to get into talking some other stuff. Last year, last year, I did not turn on my furnace at all winter, not one day. And I'll never forget, because I was using my wood burning stove in the basement. I would just stack that thing and keep that thing cooking 24/7. And because the way my house is built, the lower level, it's a open staircase to the main floor. So the heat's going to rise and come through. And it did not get below, I think the coldest it got was either 68 or 60 degrees or 58 the whole winter. Was it chilly? Yeah. The biggest thing that I noticed from that was waking up in the morning and being cold. That took some time for me to get used to because I instantly got mad, instantly disgusted, instantly like, ugh. Now I got to go down here and put more wood in the wood burning stove and get that cranking. And so those are the things we got to think about in a grid down situation, because it's going to not only create an environment that we're not used to, it's also going to induce mental, I won't say stress, but a mental change in us as well. I don't like cold weather, period. I'm not going to lie. Born and raised in Ohio all my life, I don't like cold weather unless I'm sitting out watching a football game. But other than that, waking up in the morning is not fun to when the room is cold. And that's why I say when you get up in the morning, get dressed, layer it so that you're getting some type of warmth going on. Chime in anything you like, my brother.
I just want to say real quick on the generators. Everybody is talking generators, and one of the issues is making sure that it's not anywhere close to a window or door. That carbon monoxide or dioxide, whatever, will come back in and cause some harm to you. So if you're using a generator, make sure that you keep it away from any window or doors. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know with mine, I got a dual fuel generator, and
Okay.
I built a box around it to deafen the sound on it so it's not loud, and
Hmm.
also it protects it from the weather and from somebody walking away from it. So,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
that
I'm
I
with
just
you.
want to say that real quick too. So,
Oh,
and then
absolutely.
the one other thing that I was thinking about when you asked me to come on,
Hmm.
and as far as the grid down situation, I've seen on other videos or other people's lives, they're like, well, I got gas, I got propane coming directly to my house, in a grid down situation, that stuff's not going to work if there's no power to run the pumps to deliver that fuel to your house, it don't matter.
Right. That's right. Because the
So,
pumps to get it there are going to stop.
yep.
Um, I have propane for my house. This summer, I literally had them bring me a bigger propane tank.
Yep.
Yeah. And because if there's a grid down situation, I don't want it to go empty. That is for sure. Um, but yeah, folks, keep it like Devil Dog said. He built a box for his generator outside, and I'm sure you have some way to run extension cords back into the house to power whatever you need to power.
I have a back. I'll backfeed it. I
Okay.
rewired my garage, and I got a breaker panel out there, and I have a hookup to where I can shut the main breaker off in the house, and I'll just backfeed it with just switching the main breaker off in the house. I go and plug in my generator out in the garage, and it'll backfeed uh, to power really much anything that I want in the house.
Nice. Yeah. And
So.
keep in mind, folks, you don't have to power the whole house. Power the essentials if you can. Your refrigerator. For me, it's definitely going to be a coffee pot. And, the rest I can, I got a freezer in the garage. I can power that when need be. And it doesn't have to be connected all the time. Because if you keep in mind, you're not constantly going into the refrigerator, get what you need. And I will say this, when it comes to eating food, before you go ahead and dive into your preps, eat everything in the refrigerator first if you can, and then go from there. You may want to start eating stuff out of the freezer little by little. Don't panic and just take everything out and start cooking it, because that's um don't go into panic mode, period. JRC Homestead said, since my rheumatoid arthritis started, I really feel the cold. Yeah, and that's a real thing. And, folks, don't panic. So I want to share this with everybody, and I'm going to just put a link to it. And we're going to get into talking about the grid itself now. Um, this is a report from the NRECA, okay, America Electric Cooperative. They talk about winter reliability assessment. They published a report, and there's a link in here for the report. First of all, they're saying that we are going to have a bad winter. I don't know if it's true or not, but if we stay prepared, stay ready, don't have to get ready. I'll put this link to this in the chat, and you can download the report. It's free, it's a PDF, and they flat out say our grid is vulnerable. And before we get into it, I worked for one of the energy companies here in Ohio for a year doing IT work. And I've told this story before. I met a gentleman that worked there 50 years when he retired. And I asked him, I said, "You've seen everything." I said, "Share the most important thing with me." And this blew my mind and left me speechless. He said to me, he said, "Son," because that's what he always called me, son. He said, "Son, if the grid goes down, it's not coming back. Prepare yourself." And I was like, and at that time I'm thinking, what do you mean if it goes down, it's not coming back? I'd left it at that. Didn't think anything more about it. But the more I read, the more I hear about how sensitive our grid is, I'll say that. It's probable and it's possible. Then there's the report that talked about if just 9 key power stations in the United States are taken offline, the whole grid will go down across the country. And we all saw what happened in Texas a couple years ago. Now, because this is my guy and my number one goal is to protect him because he's my guy. He's a Buckeye. He's one of our guys in our group. Devil Dog, you can share with us what you've seen with the grid.
Well, I'll say this: I know the Texas grid is not connected to
Mm-hmm.
the other grids, so they're
Mm-hmm.
self-reliant on that aspect. As far as the other grids go, they can piggyback off each other, and if one grid goes down for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
they can piggyback off of the other grid to start back up and get everything flowing. Um, my issue is, so I work. I'm not going to divulge what I do or whatever, but I do work at a power plant, and we make electricity there. But um, I know that the company has been pouring millions, if not billions, of dollars into the infrastructure on replacing
Okay.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the only bad thing about it is I don't work on the actual lines. I'm more on the producing the actual electricity. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of the stuff that, from my understanding, like the transformers and everything, is all Chinese made parts.
Right. Right.
So um, we don't make that stuff here. So if for whatever reason we have an attack on the grid, and it goes
Mm-hmm.
down, like your
Mm-hmm.
friend said, it's not coming back up.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the ability to make those parts. So we would be able to start maybe whatever we have here in the States to replace that stuff. Who
Right.
knows? I'm not going to throw out any numbers, but if the grid went down, it's going to be down for a long time.
Yeah.
So
I heard, and I'll say it because it is what it is. I heard if the grid goes down, it would take at least 2 years to bring it back up. And I'm talking worst case scenario, everything just went belly up. And you're absolutely right. If I'm not mistaken, it's the transformers that are made in China.
mhm.
And from what I understand, it takes almost 2 years to make one transformer. I could be wrong. Don't hold that to me. But we don't have enough on hand. How many is enough? I don't know. All of them. That's like buying pew pews. How many pew pews do I need? All of it. That's my answer. All of it. I want it all. But yeah. Um, and like you talked about Texas, Texas is on their own and they can't even backfeed into the rest of the grid, can they?
As far as I am informed on that, they're not associated with the rest of the country's grid. Now,
Okay.
I could be wrong,
Right.
but from the last that I understood was they're their own separate entity on that part.
Right. Yeah, and that's the same thing I heard. Yeah, they're on their own. The prepping artist said, "I've gone 4 summers without AC in Texas. It sucks, but I can definitely handle the summers. I know you can, prepping artist. I know you can. But yeah, it's the grid is vulnerable, folks. And we've seen in the news about the attacks or the people that are shooting transformers at stations, um, and things like that. Anything could happen. And I'm that type of guy that I don't try to connect dots, but I'll say this: with the open border and all of these military aged males coming over, um, anything could happen without a doubt. Um, could they be planning an attack on the grid? Absolutely. They could be doing anything. I don't know. My prepping journey says make sure your extension cords are rated for what you want to use them for to avoid fires. Absolutely, folks. Absolutely, without a doubt. Um, but you know, ice storms we've had just in Ohio. Um, you know, the power company sends out crews. They're out there working on wires, replacing transformers and everything else. And people are going crazy because their power's been out for 40 minutes. Can you imagine, you know, if the power's out for, let's say, a week? I'm just saying locally where you're at. I'm not saying nationwide, just where you're at, power outage. Are you prepped and ready for it? We don't have to panic, folks. That's why we do what we do, because we're ready for situations like this. Um, you know, I know you, Devil Dog. You work, as far as I'm concerned, you work 22 hours a day. I don't know how you make it on 2 hours of sleep.
Or like 4.
Up there you go. So, but yeah, you know, again, folks, if you guys have not checked out Devil Dog Prepper's channel, please do so. Go over there, check out a video, leave a like, smash the like button, leave a comment. I'm sorry, and subscribe to his channel. This brother's amazing. We met at the Bug Out Weekend last year, and it just clicked. And you know, all of our Ohio family and everybody that showed up. And this year, the Bug Out Weekend is going to be even better and bigger. That's May 16th through the 19th in Dayton, Ohio. We're going to be in the same place we were last year. And more details coming. Registration will probably start right after the first of the year if we're all here and everything is okay. We'll go from there. JRC Homestead said, if it's really cold, put stuff in ice chests outside. Right. And you do know, folks, that ice chests also will keep things warm as well as keep things cold. It works both ways. But yeah, if it's to the point where the power's out for a week or two and it's like cold outside and you have frozen goods, put them in an ice chest, put that ice chest outside. And Coffee said, is vision blurry or is it just me? I don't know. It could be both of us. I don't know, Coffee. So here's to you. I don't know. Micro Wolf. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome in. Micro Wolf said you make a new muffler system for the generator. You'll run it outside the building. That will get rid of 90% of the CO2 and make sure it's multi-fuel. Absolutely. And that's what I love about y'all in the chat. You guys are the ones that come up with some of the most amazing things to do. I'm just facilitating the conversation. Um, you know, oops said code will tell you when you're old. Yes, it will. It will, without a doubt. What time is it? It's 8:50 already. Good gracious. But the key is, you know, like we talked about, dressing in layers. You know, some of my friends will see me say, you don't have a coat on. I said, nope, but I got on 3 layers of clothes. That's why I can walk around in a vest and a hoodie, because I have a layer on under this and another layer on under that. And guys, I'm gonna just tell you, if it's really, really cold outside, don't sleep on the long johns. Don't sleep on the self-wicking long underwear, because they will save you for sure. Um, any questions for Devil Dog Prepper? Um, too much coffee, coffee? Yeah, she's seeing double. Yes. Salty Dog, he said, it's effing cold out this way and snow today, so y'all, the best of times. Exactly. And that's all we can do, folks, especially in the winter. And they're already predicting brownouts. And if you read through that report that I gave you the link to, they're already talking about brownouts and possible outages, about the grid will not be able to maintain the capacity that this winter may bring. I don't know what else to tell y'all. Living Natural says, Vision, agree. I use my 2 generators to power only essential appliances and a portable heater during the Texas 2021 power outage. Yeah, yeah. and and Adriana said, time flies when you're having fun. Yes. Any questions, you guys? Um, talk to the folks, Devil Dog. Tell them something that they really, really need to know.
Well, I know for myself, I stocked up on stuff when it was on sale or whatever, and try to fill up my freezers and stuff. But then I got to thinking, if the grid does go down, I mean, how long is that stuff going to last?
Yeah.
So I kind of changed my thought process on that, and I might have a good amount in my freezer uh, to be able to pick out of, but I've gone more different ways. My canning has been my go to. Um, I know you've commented on before on
Yes.
it, but I mean that stuff it sits on a shelf, and you can go and you can eat it right out of the jar, or you can heat it up or whatever. And it don't take that long to heat that stuff up. But if you're trying to use your resources to keep that freezer going,
Mhm.
I know they make solar power, ways of doing a refrigerator and stuff like that, and that's good, but I can get whatever it is, whether it's vegetables or meat or whatever. I can
Mhm.
can it, and I'm done. I don't have to worry about it no more.
Yeah.
So that's my way that I decided to go that route. With but that doesn't mean I'm not going to keep my freezer full, but I'm not overly worried about that per se. So um,
Right. And I'm with you, because I was just thinking that same thing a couple of days ago when I was telling the COO, when we go to buy meat, this round of this case of meat we're canning it so it can sit on the shelf and just use it when we need it.
Well, and one thing was like what I did. So I ordered a half of a cow and a half a
Mhm.
pig, and
Mhm.
um, you know, uh, I already had a lot of stuff already in the freezer. So
Mhm.
what I did was I wasn't able to rotate it as fast as I wanted to bring it in at that time. So I took
Right.
out, I think I had like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 pork loins that I had in the freezer. And they're
Mhm.
probably in there for about 6 months. So I ended up taking them out and I thawed them out for a few days, and then I ended up canning it all. So I made room for my new stuff. I put some beef on and pork on the shelf, and we're
Yeah.
all good. So,
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what you do. Rotate your stock.
yep,
If you're putting more into the freezer and you have, like you said, enough in there, or not enough, but you have a lot in there, bring that out and can it, and you still have it. You're just swapping space for the new meat, and
yep,
you still have the current meat. You just have it in a different location.
yep.
Absolutely. We got to get creative with this stuff, folks.
And I know like people are concerned about canning, everybody did, that does can their very first batch. I know I was kind of leery about it. I've heard a lot of horror stories, you
Same here.
know, and still to this day, I've been doing it for a few years now. Still to this day, I have it in the back of my head, that it's something could go wrong,
Hmm.
So I don't sit out there and like my head's not right on the canner just
Right.
because anything could happen.
Yeah.
But you take care of your equipment, and it'll take care of you. And there's ways of going about doing this stuff for a reason. And so um, you follow the rules or whatever, and everything should be
Mhm.
good. So
Yeah, and that's how I'm with you. The first time I did some canning, and I canned some beef and some chicken, and they're still on the shelf. And I had a couple jars, quart jars, where the seals popped. Okay, and then the rest, I go in there and check the seals on all of them, make sure everything's. And I look at it, and I'm like, should I open this and like eat it and make sure I'm not going to die from botulism?
yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing, it is. But like you said, if you take care of your equipment will take care of you. Yeah.
And you're gonna make mistakes. I mean, I know this last summer, or yeah, right when the cucumbers were done, I did
Hmm.
45 quarts of pickles, and I had a few that had buckled, which meant that, from what I understand, I had it too tight. That
Hmm.
doesn't mean that they're not good. I put them in the refrigerator, and I put the rest of them on the shelf.
Yep.
And I think about a month or two went by, and I wanted to taste one, and I opened it up, and it smelled good. The juice tasted good, but it was mush.
Yeah.
And I followed it to the T, the directions, except for my mistake was I even though I cooked it for the time,
Yeah.
I started the time from the time that was boiling, but
Hmm.
I had it in there the whole entire time. So it was actually cooking while the water was going to boil. So
Gotcha.
what I did learn was, and my thing was putting a glass jar into boiling water. I didn't want it to break. So I talked to a couple other YouTubers the one YouTuber that I followed, we spoke, and he's like, he's been doing this for 10, 15 years and it's
Hmm.
never had a jar break because you have the hot brine in there. Your jars are warm, the
Yeah.
brine's hot. You put it into the boiling water, and I redid it. I had to dump all 45 quarts of pickles, and I started over. Luckily, I had enough cucumber plants growing that I was able to do it, and I try them out, and they're perfect. So you live and learn.
Right. Angry Prepper. Good to see you, my brother. Hope you're doing well up there in New Yorkistan and everything's going in. I appreciate you stopping in this evening. I'm with you, and she's probably listening. But the COO, I said, there's some pickles in there because I made sweet and spicy. I put some jalapenos in with the
Oh yeah.
pickles. Yeah, and she was like, I want some. I said, go in there and get a jar, open it up, and taste them. So apparently they were good because I walk into the kitchen one day, she's drinking the pickle juice. I was like, those are okay then, huh? She said, oh, yeah. I said, okay, good. I'll see if you wake up in the morning and whatever. And if you're still here, then we're good. So, yeah, she said they were good. Um, Robert Bates says a good hurricane knocks the power out for weeks. Exactly. And for those of you in hurricane territory, be prepared for it. Y'all, I don't have to tell y'all, hurricane season, generators, gas, water, whatever you need, prep for it. But, depending on the severity of the power outage, we shouldn't have to panic because we have the things in place or we're putting the things in place now to be able to deal with it. And just to let you know, I mean, I have a Genrec, which is my backup power. If the grid goes down, the Genrec kicks on. It's supplied by propane, and it's hooked to my propane tank. So if our electric goes out, within 5 seconds, the Genrec kicks in, and the whole house is back up and running. But in a grid down situation, I'm not going to just let that run and use the propane tank to power the Genrec. I can go out there and turn that off because number one, I'm like you, and I haven't finished building the box that goes over top of the Genrec to make it more quiet. I'll go out and turn that off and start using it sparingly, you know. And if I have to pull out solar stations, power stations, I'll use those to power the necessities and just cycle through that way. You know, and those are some of the things, folks. Like I said in the beginning of the series, we have to think outside of the box to solve some issues or to come up with solutions for things that we rely on for our livelihood, especially for those of you that may have medical equipment, a CPAP. You need to get some type of generator or solar power station that'll power that equipment for you, because that is life. That is life-saving equipment that needs to be running at any time, for sure. So, you know, those are the things we have to do. Because in bad times, good men will do bad things, but bad men will do evil things. If somebody knows that you have something and they need it and they're going to come take it, folks, we got to be prepared to defend what's ours. Because I'm not going to just let anybody come here on my property and take whatever they think they may need, or that they're going to get whatever we have. That's not going to happen. So, you know, those are some of the things we got to do to take care of all of that. African Dreamer said Texas is completely separate and not attached to any neighboring grids as far as I know to date. Yeah, exactly, African Dreaming. Absolutely, the prepping artist. By the way, for everybody in the chat, prepping artist, do me a favor, type vision again. Folks, the prepping artist, I jumped in on their live right before I started mine. If you have not subscribed to them, go over there and subscribe. Go over there, watch a video, hit the like button, leave a comment. You can tell them I forced you over there. Tell them Vision made me come over here on Mayhemic Thursday and held a coffee mug to my head and made me subscribe to your channel. Go check them out. They got some great content. And as far as I'm concerned, you know, Angry Prepper, he's an OG. Jason has it on lock. I love your content, my brother, and I hope you get out of New York City soon for you and your family. Any questions, folks? Because it is 9:04, and I truly appreciate everybody. And if you have a question, put it in all caps. Tomcat's World. I see you, my brother. And let me put this. Tomcat's World. I don't know who and where and what, but he sent an army over here. He said, "Love you, my brother and family." Tomcat's World. Thank you, and I appreciate your not only your subscribership but your support, no matter what. TX Lala in the building. Good to see you. TLC in the garden. What's going on, sis? Good to see you as well. But folks, this series, I was going to leave it at part 3 and leave it alone. And that's why I invited Devil Dog Prepper up here, because he works in the energy sector. And we've been talking about different stuff. And be prepared, folks, especially in the winter. because this is just my opinion, and I've been saying this for almost a year now. I truly believe we are going to experience a grid down situation. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be in the winter, whether it's this year or next year. But I think it is going to be something that we've never seen before. So prep up, stock up, store up, practice, learn other alternatives to what you're currently doing. And y'all know I don't know everything, but we all learn together for sure. And if you have questions, you can email me, visionpreparedness@gmail.com. With that, Regenerative Wayne, good to see you, my brother. Now, this guy here, Wayne, folks, if you want to know something about solar, go check out Wayne's channel. Wayne, type vision, and folks, this Wayne has it on lockdown on his solar systems that he builds from scratch. And just like the Prepared Irishman said, cyber attacks. There's been a couple cyber attacks to the water systems. I think one was Houston, and another one was, I forget where it was. But folks, the worst is yet to come. Roaming Prepper, good to see you, Pete. How are you, my brother? He said our oil and gas facilities are super vulnerable. If they kill the natural gas to the big cities in the Northeast, it will kill hundreds of thousands. Right. Homesteader Rachel, good to see you. Good to see you. No, you're not trying, Rachel. You do. And you're doing it. We're not trying. And as I tell all my kids and everybody that lives in this house, we don't try around here. We do. I don't care if you do it wrong. We'll fix it and keep it moving. But we all do. That is for sure. Thank you, Teresa. Pennsylvania water cyber attack. Yep, that was the other state. So, folks, pay attention to what's going on. Don't panic. Don't freak out. That's why we prep. With that, Devil Dog, I'm gonna give you the last minutes, and if you'd stick around just a moment after the live stream, I want to give you another thank you and all that good stuff.
Just everybody needs to take it one day at a time, and one thing at a time. Whether it's when you're going grocery shopping and you pick up a couple extra items. If you're in a warmer climate, maybe get a garden started. Prepare if you're in a colder climate, get ready for the next growing season. We all start at some point, and I said this on one of your last lives. It's never too late until it's too late, and
That's right.
that's So right now, I mean, if something happened in a week, at least you have a week. If you don't know it, but you start doing it now, you'll have a week's worth more than what you had if you didn't start. So, I appreciate you having me on tonight. I'm learning all this stuff as long as everybody else. So,
Yeah, we're all learning together, brother. That's what we do, especially here in Ohio. I mean, you see the text messages in the chat every day, all day.
yeah.
It goes from sun up to sundown, and I'm like, really, guys? And that's okay because we keep each other informed, and that's what we do. And again, folks, if you have not subscribed to Devil Dog Prepper's channel, please go check him out. You can tell him I held the hammock cup of coffee up to your head and made you subscribe. We appreciate you guys. And I'm going to leave y'all with this. Keep prepping because your family depends on you and it depends on your life. God bless everybody. Have a safe evening, and we will see you in the next video. Vision Preparedness. God bless everybody. Take care. time is now.